Heartburn is a common side effect for people like me, women expecting a baby, and it can be a bigger problem when it's summertime for everyone.
That's right, and that's because many of the foods that we enjoy this time of year, pregnant or not, can trigger acid reflux, and it just makes us feel kind of yucky.
So we asked Dr. Randall Meisner, who specializes in gastroenterology with Spectrum Health Medical Group, to join us today to share some ways that we can avoid that feeling, because this is a time of year we really want to be enjoying the outdoors, enjoying our family and friends, and that can put a damper on things.
Absolutely, and the problem with all the foods that we just saw and everything that you eat is that if it tastes good or you like eating it, it can pretty much cause acid reflux, and that's the problem. Fatty foods, chocolate can do it, alcohol, of course, spicy foods, those things can all trigger it. So it's difficult because if you really want to follow something really strictly, you have to prohibit so many things that people aren't willing to do.
All right, don't tell that to Chef Tommy.
No, I won't. I know. I'd like to be an official taste tester. Yeah.
You're going to have to fight us on that.
Yes, exactly.
So I know a lot of people, have heard of this, acid reflux, but we're not really sure. You feel that burning. This can actually cause a lot of damage. Tell me a little bit about that.
Right. So what acid? Everybody refluxes. It's when stomach contents come into the esophagus, and there's a little sphincter that prevents food and acid from coming up into your esophagus, and that relaxes and allows acid to come up. Those foods that we just spoke about are what cause that to relax inappropriately. When you get pregnant or in people who are obese, it makes it kind of a mechanical thing where it makes it easy for that acid to come up. So what we try to do is either avoid those foods or give medications to block acid production so it doesn't cause all that damage. But it can have a lot of side effects. Chronic acid reflux can cause narrowing of the esophagus, which is the food pipe, which can cause swallowing difficulty. It can cause severe pain, obviously. It can cause precancerous conditions of the esophagus that can lead to cancer too. So it's tough sometimes to know whether it's a benign condition where people can just use over-the-counter antacids, or if it's something that's happening a couple times a week or more frequently, medication is needed often.
I was just going to ask you about that. I know people that carry around tubs of Tums. When does it get to that point where you say, I need to maybe get some medicine or a prescription, see a doctor about this, because so often people will self-medicate first or think that it's something minor that maybe they don't need to go to the doctor for.
Right. It's a great question. If symptoms are happening more than once a week, more than a couple times a month, and those over-the-counter medicines like Tums or Zantac not helping you, then you probably should seek a medical opinion. The problem with all those lifestyle factors, if you avoid all of those foods, if you keep your head of your bed up at night, if you don't eat late at night, and you do all of that, it's only going to help about 15 to 30% of people. So oftentimes, using medical therapy can actually help people to even enjoy some of those foods that they weren't able to before, because frankly, if you can eat a diet of dried chicken and rice all day long, well, you're a better person than I am. It's very tough to do.
Right.
So if you're having symptoms really more than once or twice a week, I think that's the time to seek medical attention. Or if you're having difficulty swallowing, any evidence of bleeding, or if you have a family history of precancerous or cancerous conditions in the esophagus.
Wow. So if someone is having these symptoms and they come in, what are some of the treatments and some of the options that you discussed?
Well, right. If they're having symptoms more frequent, a lot of times we give them anti-acid medicines, stronger anti-acid medicines, what are called proton pump inhibitors. Okay, those are what you see on TV, the Prilosec and Nexiums, the medicines like that. Sometimes we'll perform an endoscopy as well to see if they are actually damaging their esophagus, as what I mentioned. And an endoscopy is when we make a patient sleepy and comfortable, put the camera down into the food pipe, very quick, very safe test. And we will recommend some of those lifestyle modifications too. I think the two major ones that can help are obviously, like anything in life, the leaner the better, but also late night eating can really be a killer. When you eat late at night, especially if there's alcohol involved, and once again, do as I say, not as I do, you fill your tummy up with food, you get a bunch of acid running into it, and then you lie flat, and boom, it's just a nice, easy way for that acid to come up and cause problems. So avoiding late night eating and sometimes even elevating the head of your bed can be the two lifestyle things, I think, more than eliminating all of those foods that can really help people.
Yeah, and pretty easy to do.
Pretty easy to do,
lifestyle, right. You are actually having an online chat on Thursday, July 28th. People are invited to take part and really ask questions that they may have to get that opportunity to talk to you in person, which is probably always the best thing.
Correct.
Okay, so just head to the website. We're going to put that actually online as well from noon to 1 on the 28th. Thank you, Dr. Meisner, for coming in. Really helpful.
Thank you.
We don't want to give up those foods.
No, we don't.
Unless they make us feel really, really bad.
No,
That's right.
we don't. Yep.
That's really helpful. Thanks. We'll be right back.
This is 8 West.